What's up, guys? So today I'm doing a Warzone Exitlag test for everyone because I had a comment asking about it ages ago and I completely forgot. I'm busy with my kids, but better late than never. And I wanted to show you how the game does its server selection and explain it a bit, and then show you Exitlag in action. So basically, there's an issue with Warzone is it lets you select region but not specific server location, and there's a bunch of server locations in each region, and you got no control over that. This is the main problem I have with the game that bugs me a lot if you're not using an app like Exitlag. So if I select Asia, it's actually it's connecting me to any of these servers in Asia. And one big deal about that is that it includes a login server for when you first launch the game. So depending on how active uh, the player base is in a certain location and how inactive the player base might be in your location, or the server closest to your location. So there might be a server closest to you that is 50 ms. If that server is not busy, it'll connect you to a 70 or 100 ms login server, and that affects your search. So that's the main dealio that I have that's a problem. So as you can see, I've got Exitlag turned off. I'm going to launch the game, and we're going to try to guess which login server I'm being placed on. And the login server is basically the base server. So if your login server gives you 70 ms, then when you go to search for a match, the lowest you can go is 70 ms. You're not going to get 40 ms matches. More than likely, you're not going to get them. You're going to be on 70 ms or higher. And that's also due to the way the game seems to search for servers. And I've tested this over and over and over again before making this video, so that I know I have a good idea of what I'm talking about. I'm not the developer or the one that coded the servers, the server search features, functionality, but I got a pretty good idea of how it seems to work. So, like I said, with this login server, that is also randomly, or there's a certain way that it selects your login server within Asia or within America, wherever you are, that you have no control over, and that will dictate your game search baseline. So, for example, I'll just give you a few examples here. If I was using the Australia login server, then my starting ping when I search for a game will always be 140 ms or higher, because that's my ping to Australia. So if the game happened to want to put me on Australia login server for whatever reason, because pretend all the other regions were just dead, there was no player base, it's going to chuck me on Australia because that's where all the people might be playing. Or it could just be a peak hour thing. You'll just randomly get thrown on this server when it's got peak hour because the servers closer to you don't have many players on. And so you'll always start at that baseline of whatever ping that location is. So as you can see in Singapore, this isn't entirely accurate because of my specific location within the Philippines where I'm playing from. It might be 60 to 70 ms higher because of my location to the exchange. But just to give you a rough idea, if I wanted to play Singapore, which should be around 60 to 70 ms, starting in search, like server ping, I've got no way to choose that through the game settings. And so I might log in one day and get put on China, where my ping should be closer to 50 ms, like it's a little bit higher than this. Or the next day I might get put on Australia, where I'm always getting a baseline search of 140. So I haven't got any of these active, but this is just to show you the variance in pings with different locations within the Asia region. So, Dubai, 126, Hong Kong, 30, add around 10 to 20 for my location for the actual ping. Mumbai, 99, Tokyo, 68, so around 70 for Tokyo, or maybe 80. And Seoul, Korea, around 80, I'd guesstimate, and around 60 to 70 for Singapore, if I could select. But since I have no control over this, I might have 60 to 70 when I go to search for a game as my starting baseline one day, and then the next day I'm getting 100 as a starting baseline. And what I mean by starting baseline is when you go to search for a match, it's the ping that shows up when you first go to search, and you can guess your login server just based off that ping. So if I go to BR Solos right now, it's starting at 69 ms. So that means it's using, more than likely, I'm connected to a Singapore login server, because it's actually a little bit higher than that, or I'm on Japan, which is around 70 to 80 ms. But as you can see here, this number will change from day to day. From starting the game once to closing it and starting it again, you can end up with a different login server. And the main issue there is if you're looking for specifically you were trying to get into a lower ping match, if you're in a higher ping login server, it means you have to constantly back out of the game a lot more, and your chances of getting, like, the time it takes, it'll allow to search, you'll hit the higher ping quicker. So the way I explain that is that when you're searching for a 70 ms match, if your base ping is higher, it'll get up to the 100 ms match searches a lot quicker than if you start down at 50 or 40. So as you can see here how it's going up, there's less headroom, so it's just going to go all the way up to 100 really quick. Especially if you search and you are on a higher ping server, like a 100 ping server, you're not going to have very long at all to try to get into a lower ping match. And based on the peak hours and the player base and the activity of the day, you'll just find that you get a lot more high ping matches because you're on a high ping login server. So that's just the best way I can describe it. So I seem to be on, like, Japan. I'm on a Japan. That's not too bad. I'm actually happy with that. I wouldn't bother restarting the game for it. But if I was unlucky and I happen to get put onto a higher ping location, and now I'm going to demonstrate that, I'll change it to India, so which is 100 ms on the login server. Now I'm going to turn Exitlag on. This is just for demonstration, but you can get thrown into any of these, your region server list. You can get thrown into any of them based on what seemingly seems to be connected to player activity and game activity. But I'm just going to turn this on and enable it. And there's an option here that lets you redirect login connection. And this is where it's helpful. If you want to get as low ping as possible, just select the lowest ping server and you're going to be on that login server. It'll give you a lot more time for the game to search for a lower ping match rather than getting into the 100 ping range. But if you've got no control over it and you just leave it on automatic, you'll just find that one day you're on low ping and later on that evening you go to connect and you're on a high ping login server. So this is just like forcing a high ping login server for demonstration purposes, and also to show that Exitlag works in selecting your login server. The only thing it can't do is you can't select your specific server location, because what I found is even if I select Singapore, the game's algorithm, like the game's server selection algorithm, will still increase the ping range and still connect you from a Singapore route. It'll still route you to other countries with higher ping if the game expands its search. Like, you got no control over that. All you can change is what the game sees, like the location you're logged in from and the routing to the login server. So that's where you get a little bit of control back, but you still can't specifically select your server, unfortunately. So I can't just always have Singapore matches, although that would be very nice. The only way I can try to force Singapore matches is by forcing a Singapore login server and then always canceling out if the search expands. So if the search expands to 100 ms, cancel it, search again. And then at least I would have a much higher chance of getting on a Singapore login server or a lower ping region. But just as I was trying to demonstrate here, I've manually selected Mumbai, so I'm expecting 100 plus as my baseline, and I'm not going to be able to search for 70 plus. Like, I'm just going to be straight into 100 plus ping server search, game search. So if I go into BR solos, I'm straight into 140 ms. So as you can see, there's ping spikes here. It's not that consistent. But as you can see, like, I manually forced a higher ping server. This isn't always entirely accurate because, yeah, there's certain things that the app can't account for to do with the routing. It could just be a higher ping time for it's actually peak hour where I am right now. From my island in Philippines, it has to jump a lot of islands to get to the exchange, like the main hub, before it goes international. But as you can see, like, if I was trying to get a low ping match, that's my baseline. I can't lower it now. I'm stuck with. I'm on this login server now. I'm on India. I can't make it go down, and I'm always going to get put on it every single time I search. And this is an issue. This is the issue I think a lot of people are complaining about, is that sometimes they just get high ping, and then other days, like, it's not consistent. So now I'm going to exit out. And I'm going to switch it to Singapore, which is my preference. And I'm going to show you how I can get into a low ping match and force a low ping match, but I still can't force a Singapore server. That's the only thing. I can force Singapore and lower. So if I select Singapore as my login server, my actual ping in game is around 70 ms, and it starts at 70 ms, but it can still connect me to any server under 70 ms. So that's what I mean by I can't force it. I could still get Seoul, which is 70 as well, or I could get Tokyo, which is 67, around 70, or I could get China, unfortunately, which is under about 50. But it's good. Like, it's good in terms of having 50 ping, but you might not want to play in China for whatever reason. You can't force it not to add that to the list because it's under 70 ms. And the way the game searches is whatever your baseline ping is to the login server, it'll search for any match under that ping on any region, any server in that region, and then it'll expand it and start adding high ping servers, which is what you don't want. That's like the worst case scenario. Is you don't want it going up to 140 and it's got like a very little headroom to work with, and you have to cancel it within one ping increase. So anyway, I've set it to Singapore, which is, for me, it's about 60 to 70 ms from my island, from my location within the Philippines, and it's active. And when I click play, it'll pop up that it's connected to Singapore, and we should see a baseline around 70 ms because that's what I've tested Singapore to be for my location. So we're just connecting now, and you can see here I am connected, and that's the option I have checked is redirect login connection, because your login connection has to basically, if you don't redirect it, it's just going to go random. That's what you want to avoid. You don't want it to be just randomly on a high ping login connection. And you can use routes within my country first, but for me that makes ping even worse. But now we'll see what the starting baseline is. So before, you saw like I was on around 100, and then when I enabled India, it was putting me 140, which is even higher than the estimate, and it consistently was giving me that as a starting line. I want around 70. I want 70 or less. There we go. So this is with Exitlag fixing my login server. This is what I want. So as you can see here, it's on 64 ms search, and this is how I would get a low ping match. Is I basically set my login server to my preferred server. I definitely don't want to get into the 100 ping range, and I've got more time now. I could actually AFK and get a drink before it reaches 100. And oh, it found one straight away. Allow. Now we'll see what my ping is in game. $70 ms. So that's basically what I called it. That I said my Singapore ping is roughly. So I should be on Singapore right now. And according to Exitlag, I'm also on it. But yeah, the thing is, I can't force it to Singapore. I might have ended up on China because that's a lower ping server. I could have ended up on Japan because it's roughly the same ping. My Japan ping is also around 70, and I've been in actual games with Japanese players and lots of Japanese, especially in like modes where you have teammates. I've seen that I'm definitely on a Japan server before, unless all the Japanese were playing in Singapore, like for whatever reason. That's the only way I can differentiate between Singapore and Japan is the names of the players and the teammates that I get, because the ping is roughly the same for me from Philippines to Japan or Singapore. So that's just to demonstrate that. And I'll exit out, and we'll see if I can consistently do that. Because yeah, like I said, if I leave it on automatic, I will just randomly get 100, 140 plus, and more importantly, my login server will be ruined. It'll just randomly be really bad. And as you can see here now, I'm getting 64 ms. It's great. So all I have to do now to control my ping and stop it going high is canceling out, which you can do without using exit lag. But the main issue is you can't control your login connection. So if your login server is high ping, this will be high, and you won't be able to lower it without restarting the game and trying to join again, and you've got no control over which login server it uses. For some reason, your ISP might just decide you're going to get routed to the India login server all day, and you can't change it. You've got Asia selected, and all you can do then is select US, or what's the other one? You can try changing to a different region, and that's it. But that's not going to help your ping. And if you're just trying to get a lower ping Asia match, yes, you will still get lower ping matches with 100 ms as the baseline. But the main issue is if you're if you're on the India login server, even if you cancel out of matches that are 100 ms or higher, you've got India within your base server list. You're going to get India. You've got a higher chance of getting India. While if you select Singapore, which is around 70 ms, you won't get India at all. You won't get a 100 ms match because you can just cancel out before it reaches 100. Before the search expands, if it can't find any games, it'll keep expanding the search, and you can just cancel out before 100. But if you're on 100 as your starting point, then you can't cancel out of that. So you're stuck with India within your server list, within your pool of servers. But yeah, as you can see here, I just consistently joined 2 matches at 70 ms, which is what I was telling you my Singapore connection is. And these are 150 player matches, so please don't be salty about me exiting out because it's not hurting anyone in a solo match. That's why I'm not playing in squad, because I'm just demonstrating Exitlag. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate not just the fact that I can select my login server, but the other use of this is if you're playing in an Asian country and you might specifically want to play with the Australians, like you want to play with Aussies, which is in the Asia pool. You can also increase your ping artificially that you don't get any of the lower ping servers. So it's not exactly ideal, but if you want to play with Aussie specifically for whatever reason, you can do that. So now that I've selected that, it's on my login, it's going to put me on the Aussie login server, and I'm not going to get... My baseline is going to already be with Australians. I don't have to wait for it to search and search and search, because then the chances of me getting an Aussie match is much lower if it's searching at 70 ms for too long. Like if it's searching at 7100, then the chances I have, the longer it's searching at because it's that ping or lower, the longer it's searching, the more chance I have of getting a different region. While at least this gives me the best chance. If my login server starts at 140 ms for searching a game, it gives me a much higher chance of getting an Aussie game. So now I'll go to play, and we'll see the login server will be different, and I'll be able to... My baseline search will be 140 plus. So yeah, this is just for demonstration purposes, but it does not, again, like I said, because it's that your login server ping or lower, you can still get lower ping servers. Like, even though I'm connected to the Aussie login server, I could still get a match in Japan if Japan's really active and the Australian matches are not very active. If the Aussie games have like 1,000 players active, that's going to be a certain amount of games going off on certain intervals compared to the Asia servers on lower ping that might have 10,000 players active. That's going to be a lot more... I'm going to have a much, much higher chance of getting into an Asia-based server rather than an English-speaking Aussie server. But just to explain that there is still a bit of lack of control. There is still a benefit, obviously, to being able to set your starting point in searching for a server. So now when I go to search on the Aussie login server, I'm already at 150. So yeah, my chance, I'm already searching, and Aussie's in the pool, so I have a better chance of it. While if I was starting at 70 ms all the way through to 150, like all the way through to 100, Aussie's not in the pool, Australia's not in the pool, so I could get Japan, Tokyo, Singapore, China, or India, and I'd have to wait much longer just for the chance to get an Aussie game. While here, I've got it in there straight away, just from changing that login server. We'll see if I actually get an Aussie match. Like, I might be lucky and I get straight in, just to see. But we can also see that I might get a Singapore match again, because Singapore could be really active right now. There's not really a way to tell. Actually, there is a way to tell, because you can look at how many servers are online. because I noticed when I connected to India there was like 20 before earlier in the day. I'm not going to change it right now because I'm connected, and what that would do is if I try to change it while trying to find a match, it'll actually disconnect me from the Aussie login server that I'm connected to, and it'll DC me from the game. But we'll see. Maybe I'm in Australia already and I'll be on around 140, 150 ping if I got connected to Australia first go. Takes a little bit for the latency to show up. But judging from the actual player names, it looked like I was with Aussies. So I don't know though because my VoIP's not on. Wait, let me see here. Let's try something. I don't know if this will work. Audio. I do have the master really low. I don't know if I can hear anyone talking though. I don't know if it'll work in the lobby of a solo BR. But yeah, at least to prove the point, I was able to add Aussie to the pool, Australia to the pool, and going by these player names, like see these guys are on 70 MS because they're actually in Australia. But yeah, Rusty Fishhook, that sounds like an Aussie.
Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
And this is more a benefit that if you happen to be an Aussie in Philippines and you want to play with Aussies, and you don't care so much about how well you do, this is one way to do it, to get into those Aussie matches. And it goes for any country, any region. If there's a specific requirement you have where you want to get into a higher ping match based on the player base there, you can have a little bit more control over that. So yeah, but enabling the chat didn't work, sadly. So leave game. But as you can see, I've demonstrated across a few server changes now how I was able to manipulate the login server, which changes the baseline server matching, it's kind of hard to explain because you don't expect that there's going to be two separate servers for which games you find and which login server you're connected to. But yeah, the login server dictates your base searching, your base search ping. So if I select even just to make it really obvious, I'll select India, which should give me around 100 MS as a baseline. Around 100. It could be higher, like it could be 140, but around 100. Since this isn't entire, I know it's really inaccurate for China. Like even though China says 40, if I select China, which should give me like 50 MS, I still get like sometimes 100 MS. It's just random. The routing to China is just bad, and even Exitlag can't fix it for me. But that's just a thing. I do want to be on Mumbai. They're in the same place, I think. Well, they're both in Mumbai, whatever. Apply. And now we'll see my search should put me. I'm gonna actually search for a squad this time just to. The thing is, I am not forcing, even though I've been getting put into the same location pings. Like I've been getting I got put into Aussie first go, into an Australian server first go, and I got put into Singapore servers first go. It's still not guaranteed just because my login server is set to those locations. It can still put you in higher ping depending on how busy and the timing of when you search. You can still get put into a different server to your login server. So you don't have complete control over that. It just increases the chances that you'll get a game in the server you've chosen of your login server. I just want to make that clear. It's not guaranteed. So don't like install Exitlag and sign up or whatever. I think there's a 3-day trial. You can see the link in the video description. But don't have too high of an expectation that you've got complete control. The main benefit is selecting your login server. That's what you've definitely got control over. But the game can still put you in, like as I've explained over and over, the game can still put you in different servers based on max ping. So I selected Mumbai. It's connected to Mumbai, but it's still, see, it's 160. It started off as 140. So that just might be my location. That's the best Exitlag can do, and its estimate is just a little bit off. can try Mumbai 1. I don't know if it'll let me change it. It might just DC me because I'm trying to change it while the game's running. But we'll see. We'll find out. With Sam. See those player names? Okay, so now we'll just see. I'm gonna turn on voice chat. We'll see if what server I'm on.
We're holding for deployment.
So I keep it off because I find the lobby can sometimes be overwhelming, and there's a lot of swearing involved. It just depend. You got to be in the mood for it. So, but as you can see here, this looks very promising. Sapphire Alaria.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Hello? Hello, hello? Hello, hello? I'm just trying to talk to them in the in-game chat. Hello?
Enemy soldier incoming.
These guys aren't even talking. That's disappointing. Voice chat volume is high enough.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Hello? Is my mic working? Ni hao, mushi mushi.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Warm-up's done. Time to kick this off.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello?
Plunder. The job's simple. Secure more cash than the enemy.
Can you guys hear me?
Alright, soldier. Mark a drop point for your
Hello?
Drop there.
Oh, so they're just being antisocial. Whatever.
Voila, that's the place. Stand by to drop.
They're not even answering chat. Is this just how it is on this region? If this was an Aussie region, you get answers straight away. Like, whether you can speak English or not, they'll answer you. Well, if these guys aren't even gonna team play, I'm just gonna exit out. I think we had an idea, like the player names were promising, but I couldn't prove anything. I'm gonna switch it to Aussie, and this is gonna be like the last test of the video. I'm just gonna go from Mumbai back to Australia and see if we can get an Australian match. And my system sound was set up slightly wrong because I sometimes use, for Facebook calling, I use my webcam, so I had it on the wrong one. I'm just gonna disable that and have this as the default, and try again in case my mic was playing up for some reason. So we're gonna go to Sydney. Apply. And restart the game. Sydney login server. So here we go. This is a longer video than I thought it would be, but at least I'm pretty sure I got the point across of how it works, and it's actually pretty lucky today because I tested it earlier, and when I changed the login server, I still managed to get into different server locations that were lower ping than the one I wanted, the one that I specifically set the login server to. So I've just been lucky though. I'm not gonna go ahead and say it'll definitely give you your login server location. Like it'll definitely connect you to that same server location when you find a match. But it's been good. Now I'm gonna go. We could either go BR quads or blood money, or BR buyback quads. Ooh, that might be good. Might be popular because it's fresh. But as you can see, yeah, my starting ping is back to the Australian level, Australian pings, and we're gonna see if we get Aussies fairly easily, or if it takes multiple matches, because I could still get on Singapore in that. Like I said, it still has Singapore in the pool, but I think your likelihood of getting your server login location, like your server, the same server as your login server, is increased. It's like I don't know the percentages, but it definitely seems to help. But yeah, I haven't been playing this that much. It's just I wanted to do this just to show you that you can get a little bit more control back. This is just more to help people out. I haven't been playing much this season at all. It is a great game, but I've got 2 kids. It's just too hard to play seriously these days. Like they'll just come in and randomly pull on my arm, and I don't want to get so in. Like I get really competitive. Like I start to I lean forward and all that stuff, and it's hard when a little kid tugs on your arm to remain calm. So I just don't play. Like if I play, it's just for fun, and I'll do this kind of stuff. I'll join an Aussie server, and I'll drive around so that if my kids interrupt me and I go AFK, I don't feel frustrated at all. Rather than when you're trying to win Battle Royale and you're like the last 5 left, and then you have to suddenly get up to help your kid with something, which I do. But yeah, being a dad gamer is hard sometimes. Come on. That's amazing. It's actually staying on 150. Like sometimes it'll go up to 200 and higher. It'll expand the search to 200 plus. I don't know if there's any Asia servers that actually reach 200 anyway. So yeah, but I mean you can see here that I'm connected to Sydney. But we'll see what happens. It could be that this mode is just not popular. Plunder, or we'll go to BR Quartz because at least it's 4 people, and this is the last one, so I'm going to play it through. And you can see me playing badly at possibly 150 ping if I'm lucky. Or there's just no one playing; they're all on solos. I really like. I remember old school games with the server selection. You could actually see how many people were on each server, or some games still do it, and that would have been the best. But at the same time, what the devs try to do by hiding it is that they can make their game seem popular when it's not, or when there's a low player base. Which normally, if you can see that there's hardly anyone on, you'll also hop off. It'll make you disconnect, and I think that's the other reason they don't show it is because more people are more likely to keep trying to search if they think they just might be off with their timing, rather than if they see that there's only 1,000 people online and there's other games with 20,000 people online, like PUBG, which is always instantaneous. This is horrible. I was getting games so quick on BR Solo. Okay, okay. My favorite mode is actually Plunder, so if other Aussies are like me, they're also in Plunder too, and I'll be able to get a game much quicker. Or they're all in Cold War. Maybe that's has that launched already? I don't know. Is that out? When does it release? Oh, pre-order. No, it's not out yet. I don't know. Come on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to put some timestamps in the comments of this video. This waiting's annoying. Today. Come on. NA. Really? This is horrible. Did I break it somehow from changing too many times? Maybe it banned me. Like it could be, there could be like a soft, not really soft ban, but there could be a low priority queue for people that leave games a lot, and that could have been what it's done to me. Just guessing here, because I did leave a few games testing. Oh, there we go. Okay, spoke too soon. Well, that could have still been a low priority queue, and then I'll have like all my teammates leave because they're the same. But more importantly, I restarted the game, so my mic is fixed. I should be able to see if I can get a reply. Yeah, this should be Australia. Hello? 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 I can see your mic thing going off, but I can't hear you. Are you there? Hello? Are you talking?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. I don't know who that was. Oh, that's bad walk.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I can't hear the other guy. His mic's going off, but
Yeah, I can't either.
just bear with me, guys. You might want to turn your volume down because I'm going to increase this and adjust my headset volume a little bit. Go deaf. Okay, so yeah, lower your volume. I hope no one skipped. Actually, no, I should keep it lower because they might skip forward and then suddenly they got their volume adjusted. Actually, no, it shouldn't matter because my voice volume will be the main baseline. The game should just get a bit louder.
Plunder. The job's simple. Secure more cash than the enemy.
That was already good.
That'll come in handy. Mark a drop point for your team. You'll lead them in.
Down there! That's our target! Save it for me.
Alrighty.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the side. Enemy team is tracking your position.
On the roof, on the roof.
I see movement.
Did we all die? There's a guy on the roof where I pinged. There's a guy on the roof where I pinged.
advised. Friendly precision airstrike inbound. Strike standing by. Marking our
Buddy on me.
Help.
I see movement.
Thanks. I was in the corner of that warehouse.
Yeah, I got him.
into the area. Watch the skies.
Another one just dropped in.
Enemy UAV overhead. Allied cluster strike inbound. Watch the skies.
Moving here. Contact!
Enemy
Got him.
soldier incoming. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy soldier incoming. Supply box identified. Marking location now.
I see movement.
On the plane. On the broken plane.
Moving here. Cancel my rest. Care package spotted.
Objectives updated. Move to the next location. Cash you find. Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound. UAV overhead. Enemy soldier incoming. Objectives updated. Move to the next location. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Enemy dropping into the AO.
Got movement. Scratch that.
His base is too crowded.
Target mark, send it!
This is Striker 3-1. Good copy. Strike inbound. No hits on that run.
I see the device. Voila, found a ride.
All supply boxes found. Solid work.
Does anyone need this?
Be advised. Friendly
Does
precision
anyone need
airstrike
this? Does
inbound.
anyone need this?
Allied cluster strike inbound. Positive ID on the bounty target. Sort them out.
Mark out, moving.
Oh, yeah, just 7th. Oh well. Alright everyone, so hopefully that answers your thoughts on whether Exitlag is worth using or not. I don't think a VPN can do much better because a VPN still won't let you select your login server. So you can log in from a VPN that's showing Singapore, and the game or whatever, the connection is going from Singapore to Battle.net to the servers, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be put on the Singapore login server. So it seems to change. It just seems to be random to me, or maybe based on player activity. Whatever the highest, the most active login server is closest to your location, seems to be what dictates the login server. But yeah, if I log out now and set it to Singapore, so I can get back to the nice 70 ping matches that I would rather have. Don't worry about that, just apply routes, that's what I want. Maybe Singapore 1. Apply. Join. Okay, so now when I go for, I don't know if this will work, maybe it'll work now, but yeah, see 75 ms, I'm back to the low ping. I've selected, I'm on Singapore login, which says at least 3. Let's go plunder Blood Bunny. It actually seems to be locking me to 75 ms, like it's not automatically jumping up as quickly as it normally would, having the login server fixed. There we go. So yeah, again, I'm playing from Bohol, Philippines, and we'll see what happens now. I should be on a Singapore or Tokyo or, you know, Singapore, Japan server, one of those.
We're holding for deployment. Now's a good time to warm up.
And yeah, 70 ms, there we go. So pretty much every time I've changed the login server location that has a rough ping that it should give me, I've been getting that. I could have just been really lucky with the peak hours and the timing that I'm doing this test as well, because I know that you can get a different, you can get connected to a different server than your login server selection. But at least for this test, it's actually shown that my likelihood of getting the server I've selected as my login server and getting into a match that matches that ping is very, very consistent. And yeah, I had to add 20 ms to this though, because it's not a exact estimate because of where I am in Philippines. I think it's an estimate for PLDT if I was closer to the exchange, but yeah, there's probably around 20 ms of latency from Bohol all the way through the many islands to get to Manila. Well, I don't know where it's routed through. It might only be a couple island hops, but it's still a fair distance. But yeah, that's how it works. And thanks for watching, guys. If the video helps you, then please like and subscribe. And if you're going to sign up to Exitlag, I would appreciate it if you used my referral link, which is in the video description. Thanks, guys.